Welcome my friends, this is Maniacal Incorporated back to continue the long-running adventures of House NaGeira and their bid to establish the Empire of Canada, stretching down as far as Ontario. Now, finally, I think we are in a position. Money's a bit tight and we're waiting for the forces to get back up to full capacity. But having broken up the kingdom of, I think it was Upper Quebec, we've destroyed our main enemy. However, a new enemy force rises. Penobscot. They are tearing Tirramara apart, war after war after war. They now have a lot of land in that region that we need, and we're going to have to move against them because they are of the Ursuline faith. I think they're one of the last powers that can call in the Ursuline Holy Order, and that is a fairly strong unit. So, while there is peace and stability in the region, we are going to start off straight away by declaring war to conquer, if I am correct, this duchy here. And why I say that we're doing this as there is peace and stability in the region is because our sister-in-law and cousin, Liliana, in Maine, she's at peace and is our main ally. Basically, without her, we would be in a lot of trouble. So we're going to, or we should be in a position to call her into this war. And I'm pretty certain that we're going to see the Ursuline Holy Order called in, so we might as well call in the Children of the Moving Tide. Damn them anyway for rising up in St. John's. I might actually give that away because it's a lot easier. It's not easier, but it's just not as expensive to have to bring them. 11 quid. That's not too bad. But we never have any reason to use the Holy Order in Newfoundland. And we'd better, probably a good idea, to get our own troops going as well. And there they go. The enemy Holy Order is in. Our sister-in-law cousin is in. And Influenza has also joined the war. And actually, just as our forces rise up in his county, we are invited by Chieftain Robert to a grand rite. So this has been a great opportunity for us to date to gain extra traits and skills. Doesn't look like we're going to get much adventuring in. I would like to visit Liliana. We haven't managed to do so. You can actually see that we had to pretty much avoid the region. Probably best not to visit Penobscot. Oh, that's Tirramara, actually. Probably best not to visit them either. And indeed, this time we can get to the Grand Rite and then visit Augusta. Unfortunately, I was hoping to come further down the coast to Manhattan for the stewardship lifestyle, both from visiting the state capital and from the Statue of Liberty, and then further down to Virginia Beach, another 150 stewardship lifestyle. So I'll probably have to do a separate tour because unfortunately there's only so many days that we're allowed to travel, and heading for Manhattan would have been too much of a journey, so that's all that we can do. Is this good timing or bad timing? Kira's spymaster and lover, who she's currently trying to romance, Angus, comes to her with grave news. While we do not yet know who, someone is plotting to kill her. The question is this somebody on the boat? Spouse mediates with Lobsterman Sister. That's a clickbait title, if I've ever seen one. And we have another major issue. Our aunt has fallen ill. Our court grandeur has collapsed. The big issue, however, is Penobscot, from what I can see, has declared war on Tirramara. If they win that, there could be trouble. Now, as we are out to sea, somebody has abandoned their scheme to murder Kira. It's fairly difficult when she's out in the middle of the ocean. We're going to delay getting to Chieftain Roberts by 7 days. I don't think that's enough to miss out on arriving. I think we've maybe 12 days or something like that that we can waste. So we got some prestige and we got some money. Now, who is this? Is this Penobscot? No, I'm trying to figure out where the hell Penobscot is. I think they're actually attacking the Grand Rite. That's a very interesting strategy. Now what we'll do Actually, while they're... and if we can get there in time, they'll have that disembarkation penalty. This maybe wasn't a tremendously great idea, bringing them in... It's going to take them a while to siege down that area, so we're all having a great old time. Synchronized clapping by these two. As a siege, or as they're coming under attack. So there's literally the military camp in the background of this major war that's going on. And what we could do is, yeah, experiment with herbs with our cousin in the middle of a war and become a seeker of knowledge. Or we could gain a diplomacy lifestyle perk from Jacqueline, another interesting figure in the family. Fairly strong diplomacy. How are we for diplomacy? How are we for diplomacy, he says, in the midst of a war? So it would give us thoughtful. Because I was thinking we might need to try and go back to diplomacy at some stage and get expeditionary warfare. I do need cheaper... I need cheaper wars. I need cheaper title creation and I need cheaper wars, which I believe is there. Our other option would be to gain 1 learning. So I think what we're going to do is take that diplomacy. We'll take that perk. The numbers started turning against us badly there for a second. How are things going? We have 6,000 in the battle. These guys are getting their numbers up. I'd be hoping that there's something vaguely resembling a disembarkation penalty for this army. So there we go. Kira gets back on her boat and heads away off as Penobscot and her forces continue fighting around her. Now, as I was sieging before I was so rudely interrupted, and so that diplomacy perk that we picked up from our cousin, opinion gain from Sin Gift 100% with the idea of going for expeditionary warfare, monthly prestige from Dread. So her natural dread is 35 from being sadistic, and it's actually at its very lowest at the moment. However, if we can siege down a few areas, no doubt we can get some prisoners together. Maybe we have... Uh-oh, we have a prisoner. It's not the man himself, it's the ruler of this region. The ruler of one of the counties. He's in poor health. That is absolutely terrible. Will he give us some money? He'll give us money to ransom him out. We should absolutely ransom him. So we're taking him to the rack. And he begins telling us, no, I have information. He will tell us his steward's lover secret. 100%. Yeah, fantastic. This is very intriguing. Take him back to his cell. We will take the secret and we will torture him. Why the hell would I care about who his steward is in love with? I don't know these people. We have an opportunity to gain a friendship with our cousin and caravan master, Blanche. We've failed utterly to make any friends. We failed even to romance our lover. And what's going on here? We've just made friends with her. Oh yeah, we have rotten food. Look, it's just mold. What's a bit of mold between friends? It's enough to make us sick, that's what it is. What a strange route these guys have gone on. They've marched all the ways down in this direction, crossed across, and they're now heading up. We'd have to pay money, which we don't have, to try and send the forces across. We've recovered from that food. We've taken... Oh, God help us. We've taken another prisoner. And we've won a siege. Right. Get you guys to move down. I don't think I can move these guys down further. But we do know that we can siege this place, because these guys are way up here. Uh-oh. I was wondering, I was just about to go and ransom out the chieftain. Died of heart failure. God damn it. That's not a man that you should be putting on the rack. In fairness, that's not a man you should be putting on the rack. So his daughter has inherited his money. Here's Countess Nancy. He wasn't in great health anyway. This woman, she's fine. She's grand. she'll be able to stomach this. And the scheme has failed. This is... I think I failed every single scheme to make a friend or to romance a lover. Kira got lost. Well, I mean, she's on a boat. She's on a boat off the... She's way over here, sure. Of course she got lost. I like how Maine has decided to follow around the Holy Order. We captured the ruler of this region in a battle somewhere, actually way up here. Tortured him to death. And we have now, conquering 2 of the counties of this duchy, we have completed the conquest. We will enforce our demands and expand the kingdom. Now, who has taken over these regions? So we've taken this one. That's a woman that we just tortured. There's Nancy. We just tortured her. I don't know why we've taken this one, because it had a ruler. We have failed every single befriend scheme that we've tried so far. But what I'm going to try to do is gaslight Chieftess Nancy. So I'm going to sway her and then befriend her and convince her that we did not torture her. I'm going to gaslight a 59-year-old woman that I tortured. I was just giving my counselors some orders when I realized that our husband Cecil's stewardship has fallen to 2. What the hell is wrong with him? Look at these terrible numbers. His health is poor. He's delicate, he's infirm, and he has stress level 2. And then I realized, oh dear God, if this useless idiot dies, our alliance with Maine is gone. All he has to do is stay alive, and the stupid idiot can't even do that. What I'm going to have to do is give away some land, because we're well over our domain limit. Even if Cecil's stewardship was higher, we would still have 5 as our limit. Here's Claude. I don't think it's weird, creepy Claude. They have the Herculean trait. I married them to somebody with the Amazonian trait. They haven't had any children, unfortunately. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them some land. Now, I was going to give them these 2 here in Labrador. I had to think there for a second. But if I do, then we only control 3 counties here. Now, I would like to take the St. John's province once our brother passes away, I think. So we're going to have to find a few other places. So here is... It's probably going to be the 2 that I was just given. Yeah, might as well. Now, I didn't realize this, but because... That's going to save us a ton of money. Because his brother is next in line, his brother was court chaplain, and he has vacated that position because he is the heir. There we go. He is the heir to those 2 counties at the moment. So... Our antiquarian, or Zachary Lachlan. Well, this guy actually has learning, so we'll put him in there. Oh, and as if Cecil isn't causing us enough trouble. My lover and spymaster, Angus, shaking in his boots, probably has the plague, actually there's a bit of that going around, has discovered that Chieftess Juliana is plotting to kill me. So, Juliana, that vile fiend, has abandoned a murder scheme. Juliana is married to Chieftain Somerset Fitz-Solomon. There is Chieftain Solomon II, and he deposed Cecil as the ruler of Maine, but also took his wife prisoner, Cecil's first wife, and made her his concubine. So in revenge, Cecil has started banging this guy's son's wife. Now I've started focusing on the stewardship lifestyle. We're going with the wealth focus. We're badly cut for money. I'm going to go for meritocracy. Courtier and guest opinion goes up. That's not tremendously helpful, but what I do want is the large levies. There's a couple of good ones in here. Honoured to serve. So I'm going to start down this route. The problem is I badly need to go for either celebrity or to get the prestige. The majesty focus, because our prestige is in the pits and I need it to declare war. Haley, our daughter, has converted to the Newfie culture, so she was sent out to try and get her to adopt that. I think she was a lobsterman, so that's helpful because Haley is at the moment a potential successor to the throne. I do plan to go back to gaslighting Nancy. We've just actually improved our opinion with her by 30, so it's gone from -100 to -100. So I'm going to start this scheme to befriend our cousin and the new master of the horse, Claude. Because we need friends. We need friends. So that's going to end that scheme briefly. We need friends. Who doesn't need friends? Everyone needs friends. We need friends for the Friendly Council, which will give us 2 random skills. So I took Family Hierarch was what was chosen, and I thought that was very appropriate for the new matriarch. 1 friend who's a lunatic. Stone mad. That's the only person who will be our friend. A stone mad drunkard. Oh, hell's bells, the rats have appeared and they are red. The Black Plague has broken out in County Kerry. It's fine, never mind, we're way up here. The Black Death is way, way down here, I'm sure. Is this down? Kind of, to the side. It's way over here. We're fine. It'll never reach us. God damn it. God damn this family. Which of the 2 families am I talking about? Am I talking about our own family or House Portland? Somerset, Kira's husband, is riding his wife. And now he's trying to overthrow our sister-in-law cousin. God damn you. Now, I actually wasn't going to bother raising any forces because Maine has 4,000 and Portland has 2,000. So I was going to let them handle this themselves. However, this is a fantastic opportunity to raid down some places and maybe get some prisoners. Now, I thought that Maine had gone for the capital of Portland, but the capital is actually here. I think I have the wrong forces. I think the siege weapons are there, so yeah, we probably won't get this done before they take Seacoast. Probably march up, attack those, and possibly bring the war to an end. And we've been told a ton of things. We've been told, first of all, that Greg has died. Our daughter Haley's guardian, who converted her to the Newfie faith. The darkening horizon. Missives and messages sprawl across my desk. They are all about one particular subject. The panic sweeps from the words, forming, in turn, a rapidly rising pool of dread in my stomach. There are reports from far-flung lands of necrotic buboes. Their breath comes in wretched gasps between expulsions of blood, their lips and toes turning a livid black. It then kills indiscriminately. These are indeed ill omens. We gain 0 stress because we're a sadist. Oh, boys. And just as the world begins to fall apart, our world gets a bit bigger. We have made a friend, our cousin Claude. If we're very lucky, we will get 1 siege done. We made 11 quid from it. So that's probably going to be the entire war here, because Maine is going in against Portland's army. And I imagine once they are crushed, that will be the end of this conflict. Now, money's a bit tight at the moment. I've been saying that for a long time. However, we have the ability to get a book artifact Or we have the ability to sell it for 165 quid, which is 100% what we're going to do. The war has actually reached 90%. That is fantastic. It's now 100. We've taken some prisoners. We've seized a feral foxhide. Damn, somebody else who's sick. I'd say we could probably torture them before they die. We took Somerset's son and heir prisoner. Hell's bells, we took a lot of prisoners. Break out the rack. So here's Ransford, the heir, and he is being married to somebody of the same house, House Portland. I wonder how closely related they are. Well, there is Solomon II, there is his son, the current ruler, Somerset, so Ransford is being married off to his aunt. I don't think Kira can say much. Now, speaking of torturing people, Lenore, one of our vassals, has visited us. Uh-oh, this is unfortunate. There is her husband, spouse. Oh, he's still alive. I thought when the... Oh, it's a regent. So the spouse is still alive. He hates me for some reason. Oh, because we tortured him. Yeah, that's right. So Lenore has come to the court to give us money. And what I'm going to do, as a thank you, is we'll try to sway her a bit. So thanks for the money. We gain some prestige. That is absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant. We badly needed that. Because our worst fears have been realised. Upper Quebec has declared war to conquer Ontario. Now, it's not going... Actually, it's going very well at the moment. There is another war, and that is one in Lower Quebec, so they have come into this war now. They have maintained their alliance with their sister in Lower Quebec. I'm not too sure what's gone on in Ontario, so they're all related. Ontario is a different family, so they have now... That alliance has gone, and Upper Quebec has declared war to conquer all of Ontario. That is not something that we can allow to happen. But we still don't have the prestige to declare war for a duchy or for anything, so we're going to have to risk it and declare a holy war for the clan of Upper Quebec itself. So Liliana has joined the war. What I'm actually going to do is, there is our holy order. I will get them to... I don't want to leave them behind up here, so that it takes ages for them to come down and when we need them, but I don't want them getting that disembarkation penalty either. So far, Lower Quebec hasn't come into the war. Now, I went against Upper Quebec because as long as Upper Quebec stands, it is a threat to our interests in this region. We need to take Upper Quebec out. Lower Quebec is incapable of defending itself. Ontario is incapable of defending itself. Quebec is incapable of defending itself. Upper Quebec, that is what we are terrified of. And if they manage to unite and get all of this extra land and those extra forces, we are in a lot of trouble. And speaking of a lot of trouble... Oh, boys. The Black Death is upon us. Brother Jack, save us. So yeah, this is an option that I have very rarely ever taken. We are going to isolate the capital. We're going to lose some legitimacy. And I was going to say, for right now, we'd hold off on secluding ourselves, but I'm not too sure about that, because I didn't think it was as close as it is. I thought it was still maybe in this region, but it spread very quickly in the last few moments. Is it abating over in this direction at all? No. Court physician, control plagues. Control them. Tell them to stop. And what the hell has happened here? So here's Marjorie. She is the daughter of the chieftain of Portland. Wait a minute. Father of Chieftain Ransford. Ransford, what did you do? So Ransford, I think when peace was made, Ransford was released and made ruler. Ransford, you can not marry your aunt now. Ransford, you're in charge. You can do whatever you want. What I do like is the fact that Ransford will not accept money for any of these people, including his sister. Cannot be ransomed. Would not accept this. She has pneumonia. That's not great. Her traits aren't great. I was going to see about maybe forcing her to join the court, and we can gain a weak hook. Force her to join the court and marry somebody in the family for an alliance, but she's not great. Bruno, you're going to be tortured. So we've released her, but now a ton of things have happened. Farewell, Marjorie. An area that we were sieging, that we were just about to take control of, has become part of Hudsonia. We're also being told that I need to hire a physician. Why do I need to hire a physician? We have an average physician. What more do we want in life than an average physician? I don't think I have the money to pay you people. Somebody who is good, somebody who is poor. She's a herbalist, but she's also a member of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which is an extinct religion at the start of the game. 0 counties follow this faith, so how somebody appeared as a Freemason all of a sudden, I'm actually quite impressed by that. 85 quid to a Freemason. I was just checking around the rest of the court, and yeah, there's only average people, considering... Did the Freemasons create the Black Death so they could get jobs? Is that what you're telling me? So she has taken up that role immediately. Somebody we tortured has been released from prison. What is after happening here? That's upsetting. Because we were just about to take that place. So our forces are coming ashore there. Can we head for... We can't. So we'll bring them down to there. And you know what? Ashton White could very well have been made our physician. 21 in learning. So Bruno tortured Bruno and released him. For Ashton, I'm going to demand his conversion. Will not accept. Well, I was going to have him convert because he's a witch. That's okay. That's okay, Ashton. I don't mind. I'm not angry at all. Uh-oh. So Bernard has died. Our brother Bernard has died. Uh-oh. That is actually bad. We're actually suffering a bit of a penalty at the moment because we're still over our domain limit just by 1, and 3 vassals are discussing which of them deserves it. So our recently sacked physician, Ludwig Medina, who I was actually considering for the position, considering giving him some land. He's our tutor. And I was planning on actually giving him some land. And who else is fighting? Beatrice Coffin. They are, or were, married to somebody. Greg. So they're all debating as to which of them should get the land. And if we give it out, there's a 48% chance it will go to Beatrice and then back to us eventually. Most likely. Oh no, it'll go to one of her siblings, presumably. That could be awkward. 36% chance it goes to Ludwig, or 15 to our former court physician. Yeah, sure. Off you go. And indeed, it does look like Beatrice got it. Beatrice was also our marshal. Now, we don't have any other powerful vassals who want a position other than this utterly useless individual with 3 marshals. So no, I can't imagine you have all that many troops. Not too bad an army. But we're going to give it instead. Masson, I think, has the next highest marshal, so we might as well. Oh, the devils. I don't think there's much we can do about them. We're being raided, even though I'm hoping some of my forces are going to deal with it. We do know for a fact that Cecil has another. This has been well established. We'll watch his every move. Now we've gone into minus prestige again. I'm not too sure how. We're seeing a chunk of Upper Quebec's army hovering around in this region. We've finally completed a siege. Fantastic. Which will now allow us to march on the capital without suffering any penalties. Now I got distracted as to why the death of our brother Bernard was bad. Here is High Chiefess Lynn of Avalon, House Corrigan. So she has quite a lot of titles thrown all around the place. So she has these regions here. Also, they belong to Robert, and Robert is her vassal. And she has Sydney, unfortunately, which has the holy site. So her mother was Alfreda, who was actually considered for a period of time for succession to the throne of Newfoundland and Labrador. So she went off and joined the Wolves of Lanark and died from stress when she was informed that she was potentially going to become the new ruler. So she was considered for that title. But now, with Bernard dying, her daughter was the closest relative, so she's inherited everything. It didn't split. And that's what I was hoping for, that it would split between a couple of people, because they're a bit too strong. They have too much land. I would like these bits back. We can't revoke anything at the moment. And it's split across 3 duchies. Now we're going to have to watch what is going on here. The main army is coming up. It does not look like it is heading for our forces in the capital. Espionage bastard. While performing his duties as my spymaster, my lover, High Chief Angus has discovered a secret held by my husband's lover, Juliana. One of her children is a bastard. So who's the actual father? Is it my husband? Because if it is, why doesn't he have the stupid, useless, cracked egg trait that our son Ishmael got? Unbelievable. Juliana Clockadile? Is that her name? Clockadile. How very interesting. Their forces are coming down from the north. We're making absolutely no progress whatsoever on sieging down this the capital. So if we can take one area, I might actually withdraw the forces and send them north again. Here is our son Cecil, who Kira is raising. I'm going to make him calm instead of vengeful or deceitful. So he'll keep that diplomacy and intrigue, but will not be ruling by dread if he takes power anywhere. Now, which force do I have in Montreal? That is indeed the one, the Army of Montgomery. That's the one that we want there, but it's not making any progress. So I think it's the Holy Order that's sieging down this place. Once they get that done, to give us some prisoner... Oh, it's a baby. We're going to withdraw the army and send it in this direction. So the main army in Montgomery, I'll want to switch out a better commander. We could put in Bellineros at the top, but they're not great. High Chieftain Masson, or I should say Chieftain Masson. In you go. Ransom out that baby for some money for the war effort. So I think our 2 armies will hit them first of all before they move in. Unfortunately, they got more forces in shortly afterwards. So what a long route that they took. Somebody has succeeded a title. What a long route they took. They were down around here. I suppose it wasn't the longest, but they came all the ways up in this direction. Crossed across and down. So somebody's dead. What's new, says you? What's new? So we've gotten a heap of pop-ups. First of all, we have a new stewardship lifestyle. I'm going to take the large levies. And we are told about a number of different factions that have sprung up. The main one is this independence faction. Eric the Third, how could you? There's Lenore, who we're currently trying to sway. It's not really working. And Lynn. God damn you, Lynn. Showing up and causing all this trouble. And we are in a spot of bother. The enemy army has regrouped right outside the city and turned around, hit my Holy Order unprepared. So it's entirely possible the Holy Order will be taken out. We got the rest of the army in. Eventually. I don't think we even had all of the army in there. So all they have to do is just go back in this direction and they reform. So that was what caught us. There is another 4K army heading down, so it's probably going to start sieging this area. I'd like to try and get at least one place siege down here first of all, before going back up to deal with them. Our cousin Robert is holding another grand rite. We're going to pay him a visit. I don't think we're going to do much travelling other than that. However, we're being told that Inverness has become the capital of Clan of Newfoundland and Labrador. So we'll visit that. I'm quite surprised. Bellaniro is no longer our seneschal, died of old age. So at least we're not seeing any plague deaths as yet. So we've lost that siege. We're about to take, I would hope we're about to take 2 areas. And our spy master has just ended that job where they were searching to see if our husband, Cecil, had a lover. We know for a fact that he does. Fair play to him. His health has improved. He's gotten rid of all that stress. What's his intrigue like? It's poor. I'd say we could probably convince him that the child we are carrying is his and not High Chieftain Angus's. So there we go. The giant trait. If it's a giant baby, we might have a bit of trouble trying to convince him. So we're going to hope that it remains a secret. No one must ever know. Again, if it's a giant, people will figure out. Maine, our allies, fair play to them, have sieged down this area. We're going to bring our forces across the river. We start sieging down an area, but the main goal is going to be to experiment with herbs. Now that Kira is pregnant, she's going to start experimenting with herbs with her cousin. Now, rapidly I managed to change the commander to Masson. And they're actually trying to run the Divils. So we're actually in a good spot here because this is our territory. I completely forgot, and we should actually be able to get some numbers back if we need them. Get some supply back and kind of reach across and take some areas. Now the problem, of course, is that they have hit their capital. They're back to full capacity. So we're going to have to keep chasing them down. Look at this for a setup, a metal mask inside a metal mask. So off they go again, across the river to recoup. And it looks as though the worst of the Black Death is over. We're beginning to see patches, splotches break out. Areas where it is clearing. This is absolutely fantastic. We haven't been touched. A couple of places up here. We haven't lost any courtiers or anybody important. Peasants died, probably, maybe, who cares. But we haven't lost any family members or anything like that. There wasn't even a need for us to put the capital in isolation. Pregnant, stoned Kira returns home. Oh, the Divils. We've been away for too long. Kira arrives home to Cecil of the Peasant Revolt. So they want increased autonomy. Control growth and popular opinion, not a hope in hell. A peasant's lot is to die from the Black Death. So they're not actually too far away from... Well, okay, they're a good bit away from where we are. They are doing a very bad job on that fort progression, so it's entirely possible that we might be able to get something done around here, I say, as Kira gives birth to a giant daughter of Cecil the Frail, Deborah. Hush now, Deborah. Angus, no, shh, shut up. Nobody's supposed to know. So Upper Quebec is in a fairly bad state. They actually lifted the siege, moved the army, and dropped it down somewhere else. Matriarch Frederica III. There was a bit of a Girls Do It Best episode about to start. We had Frederica II, we had Kira, and in Maine we had Liliana. 3 women picking up the pieces, well, 2 women picking up the pieces from messes created by men. Liliana taking over from her deposed brother, and Frederica taking over after her father was executed. I would like to have kept Upper Quebec and incorporated it into the Empire of Canada, but it became too powerful and too much of a threat. And unfortunately, we are going to have to enforce our demands. Still, however, Matriarch Frederica remains on the throne as the ruler of Upper Quebec, which is now where? Let's see. Upper Quebec, that's all territory. Most of that is territory I control. She has 1 county, the Chiefdom of Dover. Where is that? Oh. Well, this is Upper Quebec now. We have 2 prisoners. I'm not too sure where Lucius has come from. And we have Myrtle Lachlan, the daughter of Frederica, who we can convince to convert and join our court. Lucius, my poor man, can we get money for you? I kind of need the money at the moment, so I'll torture you first of all. And then we will ransom you. So there's poor old Myrtle, who has joined our court, is betrothed to a cousin of hers, and her mother is actually still doing fairly well in the war for Upper Quebec, so she might very well actually return to this region. Now, Myrtle, if I am correct, has been disinherited, and her soon-to-be cousin-husband is heir to this region here. So I think I have this county and this one, so I'm probably actually going to give the 2 of them to Myrtle. We have 2 other counties then that we picked up. Here's one of them, which I'm probably going to give to Zachary Lachlan, whose father, Sewell, rules these 2. So we captured Zachary. He was, I thought he was one of the youngest, but he's actually one of the senior members of the family. He's going to inherit this county as well. So we'll give him this one. He'll have a nice little holding here. And the remaining county that we then have is Montreal. And it is entirely possible. Look at this. It is entirely possible. Do you remember I was saying about moving the capital, moving St. John's? It is entirely possible that Montreal will be declared the new capital of Newfoundland and Labrador in preparation for the creation of the Empire. For now, though, we're going to put down a rebellion, and here's the man putting down the rebellion, and we have been told that he is having an affair. How could you? What unacceptable behaviour in Kira's court. So he's been put in charge of this army and is going to be sent in to deal with this little rebellion. And for whom that horn blows is Kira and Angus. Kira is with child again. No one must ever, if this baby is also a giant, surely But then again, he is stupid, so maybe he won't figure it out. And if we ever need a better Cecil than the Cecil we have at home, this rebel leader could very well do. We'll get him to convert. He has the robust trait. Now, there's two things I didn't realise. First of all, we have another county, so I need to figure out somebody to give that one to. But Myrtle is engaged to Helmar II, who already rules this region. So I'll probably give Myrtle these two regions. Make her the Duchess? Not too sure. This one will go to Zachary. I'll figure out somebody for this one. And then I will keep Montreal as the new capital. I'm going to probably do that at the start of the next episode. Spend some time getting to grips, getting an idea, a view of the new expanded kingdom, and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Probably at this stage we could go back to war with Tiramara. I'd say we're still a good chunk of the way from actually forming the Empire. We're halfway there. We need 1,000 gold, however. That's probably going to be the toughest job. I would like to imagine that Kira will get this done in her lifetime, but there is still a tremendous amount of work left to be done. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I hope you will join me on the next one, and please submit your CV below in the comment section for why you should get that 5th county.